I'm cold. All right. Ding, 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 ding. What's the good word, people? Friends like you? Who needs fucking enemies? With that fake bull crap, right, guys? Stay home with that fake bull crap. Stay home with that fake neighbor friendly bull crap. No one wants to hear it. You ain't manipulating nobody. Hell no, Diggy Dog. We got about 500 paintings here today. All of my good looking abstract, analytical, cubic, zirconia. Let's go to Key West this morning. Good morning, good morning. I don't know, YouTube's starting to block comments already, so you guys got to be nice what you say or they're going to block you. I got to figure how to... Thank you. Good morning. I'm actually showing my prints today. Those doodles. But we've got all my 11 by 14 prints. Mailing them in the wind. Well, yeah, how's everybody doing? I don't know, YouTube, like I said, they're blocking comments, so the mean people must be awake already. But that's social media. If you're not mean on social media, you're probably not on social media. A lot of haters out there. Anyways, that's why we paint. We can escape. When we paint, takes you away. I'll paint where I want to go, where I want to be. Get it? Oop, that one's upside down. That one's upside down. This is what I look like in the morning before my coffee. I gotta put a log on the fire here pretty quick. Getting cold in the cabin. These are all 11 by 14s. I have the originals, but they're too big. You couldn't afford the original. Well, thank you. Funny you say that. A lot of people told me my work was Picasso-ish, but I'm not a fan of that comment. I like to be more original than that, but some of my stuff, if you want to talk about, you know, Picasso and during art school, a lot of my professors, you know, they referred to me as a modern day Picasso, and like, I heard that a lot, which is kind of weird. That's a compliment, but I didn't try to be an artist like anybody. Let me show you. If you do like Picasso, I do a lot of Picasso-ish stuff. But again, I don't own any Picasso books or anything. This is my style, but it just happens to, you know, emulate another style. That's all that is. But Um, but yeah, you're right. You called me out. That is the way my mind thinks. Thank you for the likes. Let me show you something. If you want, let me show you something. And I'm going to see what you feel about this painting. I got a couple that you want to see. You want to see some cubism? Let me show you. Let me show you some of my stuff here. Well, here's... Can I see the top of my head? Yep, I can see it. Why? Can you see the top of my head? The shine on my head? No problem. I'm 55 years old. Give a hell about my head. I've earned my bald head. You guys, when you leave stupid comments, it doesn't even show. TikTok, or what am I on? YouTube, I don't know why they're blocking everything. I don't have a moderator on here, but... All right, let me show you. Let's break these down for y'all. Let's break these down for y'all. You never know, I might be. You never know, I just might be. Trying to find my one in particular. Let me just see here. Oh, kitty. Where are you? This one's called Going Over the Falls. Going over the falls, baby. Trying to find my one piece for you. What do you think, lucky girl? Come on, Baggy. Where'd Daddy put those? Huh? Where'd Daddy put all those? I bet you if you were on a live stream showing you what you look like, I bet you people would probably judge you too. That's just the way the world is, man. You think that bothers us? You think if it bothered me, I wouldn't even be online if I was worried about how I look. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find my people. I sold a couple yesterday on my TikTok. I'm early. It's 3 in the morning. But this is when I get up, man. I'm just an early guy with my work. But anyways, here's a decorated, beautiful bird. A caged bird. You can be as beautiful as you want on the outside. But if you're not happy on the inside, it doesn't matter. And that's what this represents. A beautiful entity caged up in life. You know what I mean? We have beautiful souls on this planet, but we're in prison on Earth. And that's just sort of a representation of what this is. You can be as decorated and as beautiful as you want, but if you're not happy on the inside, you have nothing, son. So learn to dig deep and find your happiness internally, people. Like, for example, whoever's on here talking about my bald head, here's a good scenario for you. Beauty's on the inside, friend. I can be a beautiful parrot, but it doesn't mean anything if you're not happy. You get it? And that don't hurt my feelings. I'm 55 years old. Trust me, when I shave up and look nice, I could pretty much do what I want. But this isn't a talent show. This isn't a fashion show. This is just the show. It's easy for someone to sit behind a phone and judge you and sit and talk crap. Social media warriors. Look at my kitty behind me up there. It's sort of like the people out in my neighborhood. The minute you turn your back, they start talking and doing stuff. But that's just life in general. Cowards. Well, thank you. It only takes one person to make me happy. I'll have 1,000 people on here hating my work. It only takes one person to give me a like. You know what I mean? It don't take much to please this guy. And I sell my art, so I'm not worried about, you know what I mean? I know somebody likes every one of my paintings. For example, I'm going to show this boat right here. Okay, I just did this watercolor. Now, a lot of people don't like it, but I've already sold 10 copies of it. So my point is, art is in the eye of the beholder. Like, I'll do one painting, 1,000 people will hate it, but I only need one person to like it to buy it. You understand that? So I'm going to show my art even if you hate it, because somebody's going to like it. And that's the same with when I sell my art at an art show. I'll have 1,000 people walk by, but it only takes one person to stop and buy something. So that's art in a nutshell. That's life in a nutshell. Hello. Good night. Good. Hello. Well, yeah. Once again, whoever's being mean on here, what am I on? I always forget if I'm on TikTok or YouTube, but they regulate that. They don't let, I think the AI blocks mean words or something. I got to click to view it, but why would I click to view it if they're not even letting it come in? I'm missing a couple paintings here. The ones I want to show you, I can't find. I want to show you guys my artwork. These are my doodles. This is all on paper. I'm a canvas artist. I do stuff like this on canvas. You know, I sell big paintings. All you guys have seen are my small little cabin life doodles. I've been doing art my whole life. Art directing, art festivals, art fairs, art shows, beaches, mountains, resorts. Don't be fooled. That's all I am as an artist. That's all we all are. Every one of you guys. It's just what's your art. You know what I mean? Every one of you guys are artists. Started working on this yesterday. Trying to get some highlights and some shadows going under my bridge here. I got doggies outside. Come on, Cole. No. And here's another one I was working on last night. This one's way detailed. You can barely see the face coming out, but if you look closely, there's way more to it than that. The face is the overall composition. And then when I actually lived in Key West, I was printing off shirts. I was selling my t-shirts with my designs on them. I was doing the word Key West, but I was making it broken down, cubist, and printing them off on white shirts. And they were doing good. They weren't like, I didn't get rich off of it, but I would sell a couple a day. I like to do a lot of abstract landscapes, seascapes, cityscapes. More on the representational side than realism. You know what I mean? Like, realism's never been my thing. I'm not trying to take a photo. I'm not a photographer. I'm not trying to, like, capture realistic images at all. Matter of fact, when I do commissions and somebody wants me to paint a picture of their dog, or I've done a lot of that in college, commission work, and I couldn't stand it, quite honestly. It's like having a job, almost. And who wants that? I want to show you these two paintings that I'm looking for right now as I have you guys here with me. Yeah, somebody just made the comment that I need to find my people. I've been off social media for a long time, so I'm just starting to get back on. But I will find my people. Here's one. This is kind of not my style, but I did it anyway. That's more mosaic, except that's actually ink. Believe it or not. Felt ink. Let me find my squares. I'm looking for my squares here. Yeah, it's amazing. You'll get one person, only one person on your live, and they'll sit there and just talk about everything negative. Like, that's my life. I have turtle skin. You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't really penetrate me as far as an insult. Like, I've been through the ringer. You know? So it would take more than a social media warrior to insult us here, but my point is, I'm surprised how negative people are in this world. I'm just missing, I'm missing my other one of these. Hey, wait a minute. Slow down, Ginger. I used to live in Venice. Venice is my heart and soul. I used to be a Venice Beach artist. Matter of fact, a lot of these I did in Venice. That's funny. I used to sell my art in Venice for many, many years. Yeah, I used to live on Westminster and 6th Street. I used to live on Abbott Kinney Boulevard. Yep, that's so awesome. I used to work at Abbott's Pizza Company. Tom's the owner and Rich. I worked there for 7 years with those guys at Abbott's Pizza, right on the boulevard. I love Venice Beach. My best friends are still out there. Yep. Man, I lived there in the 90s during the Rodney King riots. I was in a band called Bottom 12. We actually got really big in Venice. We toured Europe, and it was a pretty big band for. You're 53, I'm 55. I might be in Venice this summer. I might pack up and go. I've got a couple hundred paintings. Look at, I'll show you. I've got all these large paintings. All of my canvas is ready. I've been doing art for a long time and not selling it. I'm just producing right now. And that's the greatest. Let me show you some abstract fish I just did. Yep, I was in Bottom 12, man. Tony Thompson's my best boy. JP Blackman, he was one of our drummers. John Montgomery was the other drummer. John Belu is our lead singer. I was a background vocalist and percussionist. That's crazy. You know Tony T? Oh, hell. That's my boy. He's a preacher now. Yeah, he quit the band. I quit the band. The band ended up breaking down from 12. There was 12 of us in Bottom 12. It was a 12-piece band. Yeah, how do we not know each other? That's crazy. I used to have long blonde hair. You know, I'm 55 now. I was 20 back when I lived in Venice. Yeah, we had a beach house, man. Me, Tony, JP, we were Venice Beach back in the 90s. How cool is that? I'm trying to get back to Venice right now, man. But I have 4 dogs and 3 cats. My wife just divorced me. So now I'm going to sell my cabin and all my stuff, and I want to get back out into the world. I want to go to Venice and be a full-time artist again. Man, I want to, what am I on? I got to make sure I stay in touch with you, Ginger. Is there any way you could leave me a personal message? I don't want to lose you. Channel activity, Ginger. I'll try to find. I'm in Michigan now. Ginger, you weren't Roy's lady, were you? By chance, are you Roy's girlfriend? That's the only Ginger I knew back in Venice. And I forgot Roy's last name, but he was Tony's good friend growing up. Man, I miss the boys. We had a lot of women in the band, too. We had like 4 chicks in our band, Bottom 12. Are you still in Venice? Oh, that's awesome, man. So John Belu, the lead singer of our band, he's down in Florida. He's the art director at Walt Disney World. Like I said, when we all quit the band, John Belu and like 5 other people, they ended up doing a tour, but it was still Bottom 12 because Belu actually had Bottom 12. I don't remember Donna. That's so cool. That is so cool. You know, Jesus Christ is my Savior, and oh, Blockhead. Why does that ring a bell? Same era with all of us back then. Do you know my boy Dwayne Clark from Venice? He's my best friend in life, Dwayne. Yeah, he's still doing good. He's still out there. That's the one guy I still talk to a lot. And then Michael McInerney, Cat Daddy. Do you know Sergeant Mac? Yeah, Abbott's Pizza's still doing good. My boys, they're still there. I've got job. I could go to Abbott's Pizza right now and start working today. He gave me job security there in the 90s. And he said, if you ever come back, whenever you come back, every time you come back, anytime you come back, not that I would do pizza at 55, but that's my family. Love those guys. Yes, I'm a Venice Beach artist, and that's the best I've ever done is when I go to Venice. Cool. Oh my Lord. I actually have the goosebumps just thinking about being back in Venice. It's so liberating. In the 90s, it was so competitive to be an artist on the boardwalk. You had to go to the county building at the beach. We all have our name tags, so they'd put your name tag in a big barrel, spin the barrel, and there would be 1,000 artists out there all fighting for one little spot. No. But now it's just like a free going set up anywhere. But before it was a raffle, and I remember times I didn't get drawn and trying to sneak your art out on the beach to sell it. And back in the 90s, they were taking people to jail for that. They were so strict on the boardwalk. I'm just looking for this one piece to show you. That is so cool. Well, you know I do. Absolutely. This isn't the piece I'm showing you, but it's one I'm working on. Just looking for these. This one is not the one I was going to show you either. And this isn't the one I was going to show you either. But this is a representation of society in general. This represents all the girls on social media, for example. Beautiful on the outside, but not happy on the inside. Like a caged bird. 100% decorated and beautiful, but miserable. I'm not implying that that's what it is, but in general, it ain't as happy as it appears to be. And you all know that. Social media is a facade. That's all social media is a facade. The only people that are real, for example, which one are you digging? My birdie? Well, I'll send you one for free, Ginger. You definitely get a Chad Velasquez original. If you can somehow email me, give me some information, and I'll mail you a print of that. I'm looking for this one, though. I want to show you. Oh, here it is. I don't know why I wanted to show you this one. The bird one? Cool. I'm going to show you the bird one again in a minute. This one's been taking some time. It's 11 by 11, but I'm printing these particular abstract faces. I'm printing them off 4 feet by 4 feet, large. It's not done yet, but this is one I'm working on. And every way you turn it, it's a different picture. And then I've got his sister. I did a couple in this style. It's probably not your style. And it's most people's style, but it's my style. You know what I mean? Like, as the artist, we do things that please us. Like, I paint to please my soul. And then if somebody likes it, amen to that. But this is where I go early in the morning. This is where my mind's at. You know what I mean? That's where my mind's at in the morning. Like my show, my art show on social media starts at 3 in the morning, and there's no people here. I'm retarded like that. I should be on TikTok and YouTube during peak hours, but as an artist, I start doing my work at 3 in the morning. Ginger, you are awesome. Oh, I want to send you this bird. This is actually the original right here. The dimensions, I forget exactly. So this is what I'm running these on, is watercolor. And that's what these are. I should have told you that. This is a watercolor. But, so the dimension on this one is 9 by 12. So this one right here is a 9 by 12, but I print them off, like I told you. This is how I'm printing them. 11 by 14, matted and framed and sleeved. It's got the plastic sleeve, hooks on the back. You can hang them right on your wall. You can do the hook, the hook right in the middle, or you can frame the whole mat and do it like that. But anyway, so it would be like this. For example. But it doesn't have to be a white. I've got every color matte. You know what I mean? But that's just an example of what it would be. I only showed the bird because it, you know, it's sort of like where we're all at, if that makes sense. It's like, I think in particular, society focuses on our external more than our internal. Like we're so focused on, especially in our younger years, we're focused on imagery and how we appear to other people. You know what I mean? That's everything, is how other people perceive us. And so that's what this is from. It's like I tried to make the prettiest bird look pretty on the outside, but dismal. And so that's all it is. It's like we better find our happiness from the inside and stop worrying about the outside. And that's what that represented. It's hard to make a pretty bird look sad, but putting them in a box and, you know what I mean, giving them no life on a stick, that was part of the imagery, you know what I mean, behind it. I was just trying to close them in. But yeah. I have a portfolio, Ginger, of all my work in Venice Beach. All through the 90s, I was setting up out there. I probably sold 5,000 paintings maybe in Venice over my years. For sure, 1,000 paintings I've sold in Venice. I'm talking $20 up to maybe a couple hundred. I was doing these large ones in Venice, and I did sell a couple for in the $1,000 range. And like 2 or 3 of them in my life, I sold for over $1,000 in Venice. But in general, Venice is, you keep the prices down in Venice. Yeah, I do. Mosaic was I showed you this one, and I don't even like it, but it's just an example of mosaic. Oh, that ain't it. This one right here. It's either, yeah, I do know German in Venice. I don't think he knows me, though. This is mosaic-ish. That's exact, like stained glass, church windows. This is ink. But I like the mosaic style as well. Yeah, I've been following German. Oh, the bird as well. Yeah, I agree. Yes, I follow German in Venice, but I think his content, I don't know, since he closed his shop in Venice and now he goes to like Beverly Hills and walks around and stuff. I don't know. I'm not a fan of all of that. Nothing personal, but I lived in Southern California. I know what all that looks like. I liked his Venice Beach stuff, but that's because I like Venice Beach. It's not it's not German in Beverly Hills. Yeah, no, he's a good artist. I've seen his shop. I've seen all of his art. Heck, he's got 1 million followers now. He's doing good. Ginger, I firmly believe if I could make it to Venice this spring, like we'll see what happens here in the next week in my life. I got a lot of things going on, a lot of options, and I've got a full size van out there in the driveway ready to go, camper van, and I might sell my cabin and just go live on the streets. I'll keep my back 2.5 acres. I'll sell my cabin on 2.5 acres, and I'll keep 2.5 acres. I'll divide my 5 acre parcel, so I'll always have a spot to come home to. But I'm getting back out there. Venice got dangerous for a long time, but I think it made its comeback. You know, during that whole COVID thing and before COVID with the homeless, and it started to stink real bad out in Venice. Ginger, where are you? Like where do you live in LA? Or are you not even there anymore? Yeah, ton of homeless. Well, I was homeless in Venice, living in my van. I've had apartments, I've had condos, I've lived on the beach, I've lived in my van, I lived on a boat in the marina. I've lived everywhere as far as Southern California. Not to mention, I went to high school in San Bernardino. I lived in Hollywood. That's where the bottom 12, we started in Hollywood. And then we moved to Venice Beach. Actually, I lived with Tony T in on Western and 28th in the hood. It's like South Central LA with him and his mother. Oh, really? I got my little associates from Santa Monica College. And then I got my bachelor's degree from Eastern Michigan. But I went to Santa Monica College for a couple years. Oh, really? You were at the house, Tony's mom's house on Western and 28th? That was Bottom 12's original studio. I forget what color it was. Tony's mom was a sergeant in the military. She was a high ranked officer. I think sergeant or even higher. She was never there. It was just me, Tony, and John and JP, the band members, the original band members. We lived there. Um, there was a restaurant right on the corner that sold. This was an all black neighborhood, Western and 28th. I was the only white boy there. You know, Tony's black, John's black. It was all pretty much colored people, except me. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I lived on the porch. The porch was my room. That's the house. It was a big old house right in the hood, right on Western and 28th Street. I think it's South Central. I forget, but back then it was crazy. What a great time. What a great group of people. So as you know, JP, our drummer, he's a multi-millionaire now. He's on all the Jackass movies. He's the art director for MTV. He did all the films with the Bad Boys. JP's doing phenomenal. Um, of course, you know JP, and then Tony's a preacher. Like I said, he's doing really great. John Belu, the lead singer, he's an art director in Florida. Um, John Montgomery, our drummer, one of the drummers, he's teaching music classes in LA, and he owns his own business, and he's doing phenomenal. So Bill and his wife, who is Bill and Aaron, Bill, the bass player, he's doing phenomenal. He's got a band in LA. He's selling real estate. They're multimillionaires. Like, I'm the only one with no money out of that whole band. Isn't that crazy? I know. It is wonderful. Oh, really? Ginger. I wonder if I'm in any of those photos. I got photos of me and the band on stage. I've told people all the places that we played. No one believes that I was at the Whiskey on stage. We played all the clubs on Sunset Strip when I was in that band. I've been on the same stage as Tool, same stage as Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin. I've been on the same stage as Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead. I've played in every club that all the stars were in. Nirvana, like Bottom 12 played in all those clubs. And we weren't even known yet. We started to get popular towards the end, but I'm talking we were, the only people that knew Bottom 12 were the locals in Venice, basically. You know what I mean? Because we were a gig band. We played out. That's what we did. We played shows. We played out. We played clubs. We weren't just a jam band. We actually did shows. I know you know that, Ginger, but I tell people my life in the band, and most people think I'm probably bullshitting. But yeah, I got a big special thanks on a couple of the albums when I wasn't in the band. I quit the band, and they went on and did Balderdash was one of the albums, and then one or two other albums that I was no part of. But you can look at the album, and they put my name on there, and they said special thanks to Chad, who went back to Michigan, and it was just an honor. Just a great group of characters. I love every one of those guys, and yeah, it was a great experience to be with them. Yes, I do. That's funny. Yes, I do remember. I've always been doing this. So when I was in the band in LA, every minute I could get, I was more of a beach guy than I was, because we had a studio. The band had a studio in LA too. I think it was JP and John Belu. That's where they lived at the time, somewhere down in LA. It was just a big warehouse, basically. I don't know if you ever went to the warehouse. That was kind of at the later stages of Bottom 12. But we had the beach house, but we had a warehouse in LA. What was I getting at? I had something to say about that. Anyways, I forgot what I was going to say about that warehouse. Yeah, so I think, as you know, Ginger, we as a band kind of morphed. Yeah, every Halloween they had parties. Talking about party, did you ever come to our parties at the beach in Venice? We had the biggest Halloween party Venice has ever seen back in the 90s, especially the first year we got our condo. We probably had 1,000 people at that house. Um, what was I going to show you? I don't know. That's pretty cool. Ginger, I know you. I know you. I know you, Ginger. I know you. That's kind of coincidence. I don't have anybody following me on my live streams, and here comes Ginger from Venice. You know what I mean? I watched the Venice live cams, live cam. Now it moved over to Westminster, which ironically is on the street that I lived on growing up. Is the camera? I don't know if you follow the Venice Beach live cam, but it's on Westminster and the boardwalk now. It was back over on Rose. I don't know if you remember the Rose Street. And anyways, Ginger, I sell my art on Rose Street and the boardwalk, basically. That's my area. Out by the bistro, that was where I've always done best. That's the far north side of Venice. Ginger, I got to tell you a quick story. When I was selling my art there, a little old lady came up to me and she goes, "Do you know this exact spot where you're selling is exactly where Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, and Jerry Garcia would all sit down here and smoke joints and hang out and write songs and jam together." So ironically, where I sold my art was exactly where some of the famous world's most famous people used to set up and congregate. And this old lady who was 90 years old back in the 90s, 1990s, she was an old lady and she'd lived there her whole life, still had a house there on the beach, 4 doors down. And she witnessed all that. And she told me, "Chad, you're sitting exactly where all those guys sat." I'm like, that is so awesome. Well, I just think I know you from the band and coming around and stuff. I feel like I've seen you at our parties and at our gigs. We used to have people over our house every night. We didn't, for 5 years, I didn't have a night where there wasn't 20 people in our house. But that's the band life. I hated that aspect. I'm not going to lie. I was always way more private and I just, I liked being in the band, but I didn't like the whole public part at all times. We had some rough people, man. We had rough friends. A lot of punk rockers. You know, we were punks, man. It was a punk band. We were punks. Yeah, no, most people don't realize how intricated the band, the Doors were in LA. Like you can go to any block in Venice and LA and Santa Monica, and somebody's got a story about Jim Morrison and his beatnik days before he was the Doors. You know what I mean? There's always That's why I love LA. There's so many cultural stories. And that's a true story where I used to sell my art. They used to all congregate right there. But when I lived in Topanga Canyon, my neighbor's house, that's where the Doors used to practice. And oh man, there's so much heritage and culture out there. But yeah, I lived in Topanga, Malibu, Venice, Hollywood, grew up in San Bernardino, went to St. Bernardine's High School. Venice Boulevard. Yeah, Dwayne lives right off Venice Boulevard right now. Dwayne Clark. McInerney lives off of Venice Boulevard too. You know, I don't know if you know, but Michael's brother died. And his mother. Mike's by himself now out there. And throw a log on my fire. Hey, Ginger. Hang on, Ginger. I have a question. I'm so with the Lord. It's just Venice is an option to sell your art. So when I was doing the van life way after the boys in the band, way after Bottom 12, in the 2000s, I came back out there and was doing van life, and I would just sell my art and that's it. At nighttime, I'd peel out of there and go sleep somewhere. But I too don't drink or, though I'm 55, we were 20 back in those days. Um, I was 19 years old when I met Tony. Couldn't even buy beer. We worked at a company called WWI selling nuts door to door. And then Tony and I started our own business selling nuts door to door. Like, I got a lot of stories with Tony T, man. That's my brother. Um, but yeah, Tony T and I were the first ones to really get going. The band wasn't even formed yet. It was John Belu, the lead singer. He was up in San Francisco going to film school, and we knew he wanted to be the singer. And Tony was guitarist. Tony knew I could sing. I was actually a decent singer, and he knew I played percussion, so that was my part. We were piecing the band together, Tony and I, and then it all came together over the years. But yeah, I was with Tony way before Bottom 12 even started. I do need glasses. I can't read the words. Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. I need glasses. Um, I had a question, Ginger. Do you think that I know Venice isn't what was, but it's still an artist community out there. And if you just get out there and focus on the arts and ignore the riffraff and you pull out of there at dark time and you come back, and if you use Venice as a tool for arts, especially now that social media is up and running, I think it's doable as an artist. My question to you is, now I have 4 Huskies, and I'm wondering, and it'd be just me. I'd probably leave my cats with my ex-wife when I went out there, but I'm thinking about coming back with my art and my dogs, but I just don't know if the Huskies on the boardwalk would be an option. Trying to sell my art, then maintaining my dogs, but I could keep them in my. I might bring a school bus or an RV, or I might buy a motorhome. I don't know. But so they could be contained in the unit. But I was just wondering if you thought it would be doable with my dogs. I know there's a ton of dogs out there, and I just wouldn't want to be. Oh, really? No dogs on the boardwalk? Well, there you go. I didn't know that. I see dogs on the boardwalk every day. No offense. There's dogs on the boardwalk this morning when I was watching the live stream. So there's still dogs on the boardwalk. I wonder what, it just must be illegal or what? Because there's dogs out there. Yeah, I need readers. Wow. Selling art's the best there is. That's why you got to go great lengths to accomplish dreams in life, you know? That's funny. None of us, you say you hate going down to Venice. Dwayne doesn't go down there. McInerney, John, nobody goes down to Venice anymore. It did lose a lot of its magic appeal, you know, but it's still there. You can still feel it. Trying not to squint. That's hard to do. What a small world. In my opinion, it was a blessing to meet back up with you, Ginger. Very small world. It's a small, small world. Oh, here's your bird. There's your bird. That's your bird, Ginger. Yeah, Roy did the recording. Roy recorded our demo in his. We did I don't know if you remember that first 3-song demo we had. It was on cassette. That's how old Bottom 12 is. We were on cassette. But yeah, Roy did that right in his house. I was like, wow, this is the recording studio. And then we upgraded for the albums. I remember we went to a professional studio down in LA and we're doing it that way as well. But I'll tell you what. Yeah, let's definitely keep in touch. Do you want my cell phone number or something? Or how are you going to just... I was trying to click on how I follow you right now. Yeah, definitely don't be a stranger. Oh, really? What was Roy's girlfriend back then? I remember Roy had a girlfriend the whole time, and she was cool as hell. Roy was a cool character. I haven't seen him in years. I've ran into all Bottom 12 people. I've kept in touch with everybody, but Roy, I haven't seen Roy since probably 2000. He used to live right behind the park in Venice. Like, you go straight down Venice Boulevard, or think Washington or Venice, and there was a park back there, and he lived out there. Remember Horny Toad? Somebody must have left a mean message. YouTube's blocking my messages, so I don't know why. Nor do I care. Haters mean nothing, right, Ginger? Everybody's got haters. Jesus had haters. Yep, there you go. Penmar. I would have never remembered that. Yeah, Ginger. I remember when Tony T and I first, it was just him and I living at his mom's house. And he took me to some of these clubs, man, down in like South Central, and like, you're talking about dive bars where white people don't even go in. Tony was so hip. He would take me and we'd walk in there. He was just protected by God. But anyway, some of these clubs Tony and I went to in LA, I didn't belong there, but I left there getting hugs, and it's the greatest experience with Tony, man. One of the best people I've ever met in my life. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you know, the haters are hating. That's funny. Yeah, don't let me keep you. If you got to go, Ginger, just go. Yeah, I don't want to get shot in Venice. There's a lot of riffraff. I see a lot of videos. I saw a murder in Venice last year for a scooter. 2 kids asked this lady if they could use her scooter, electric scooter. She said no, so the one kid shot her right in front of her husband. I don't know if you remember that. That was last year, but Venice is ruthless. It's because society is ruthless. Well, night, Ginger. Great to reconnect with you, my friend. Love you. God bless you. Heck yeah, I'm glad we've made it through, and I'm glad we made it this far. It's kind of funny how what we go through in life and where we've been and what we've came from, but 30 years later and I saw Ginger. So that's just God all day. I'm glad you're doing good and I'm glad you're alive. We got a lot of those people from back then that aren't with us anymore. So it's a true blessing to see you and talk to you again after 30 years. Not too many people know my true story about LA and Venice and Bottom 12. Yes, praise the Lord. Nothing more. Everywhere you look in my house is Jesus. Jesus, my Bibles, my crosses, my Jesus. I got crosses here, crosses there, crosses there. I'm all prayed up, my friend. Jesus is king, baby. I don't care about anything but Jesus. That's why I'm on live right now, is because of Jesus giving me the strength to show my art again. I just got fired from my job 2 days ago. So no, I'm jobless, about to be homeless. My wife just divorced me. It's all good, baby. I've got the good Lord. Nothing means nothing, Ginger. Hope you know that. Follow your heart and love your own art. Praise the Lord, baby. I praise the Lord that He gave me talent. He gave me my artistic abilities. You understand? Like I am 100% blessed. I don't care if you see it or not. Artist, musician, let's go. How do you guys like my abstract fish? You already know my stuff sells in Venice. You already know. You already know I'm that Venice artist. I'm perfect for Venice. I actually belong in Venice. I just couldn't afford to live there. Nor would I want to live there as far as paying for a condo or something. Those days are long gone. I'll bring my RV out there, but I wouldn't ever buy a condo, or I wouldn't pay for rent in LA again. Here's my morphine mermaid. What is that? What is a morphine mermaid? Do you know what morphine is? Not you, Ginger. I'm just talking about whoever's watching. Morphine into something spiritually. I gotta go out. You wanna go out? Daddy's so cold, girl. Daddy's showing my artwork, huh?